In today's financial landscape, the importance of having a flat rate catch-all credit card cannot be overstated. It's so easy to get overwhelmed with all the different specific category bonuses, rotating rewards, loyalty programs. A flat rate credit card simplifies your spending by giving you consistent, reliable rewards on every single one of your purchases. The problem is there's just so many different flat rate credit cards out there. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down every single flat rate credit card on the market and then throwing them in a tier list so it's easy to understand. So whether you already have a complex credit card setup and you just need one card to plug all the little holes in it, or you just want one simple card to do it all, this video is for you. The thing is a lot of these flat rate credit cards are very similar, so we're looking for 4 key things that set them apart. The first thing that we're looking at is rewards rates. Some of these catch-all credit cards are only going to give you 1.5% back, but there's others that'll give you all the way up to 3% on every purchase. The next thing that we're looking for is no fees, particularly no foreign transaction fees, so that you'll be able to use this card anywhere in the world. The third thing is additional benefits, whether that be 0 APR on balance transfers to save you money and interest, or special things like cell phone protection. And then the last, and probably the most important, is the sign-up bonus. When we're dealing with catch-all credit cards that are giving us a low rewards rate like 2%, those sign-up bonuses are going to make a really big deal. Alright, so let's start off this list with the Citi Double Cash. This card is a Honda Accord in a credit card market that has lately been packed with a bunch of Lamborghini wannabes. This card is essentially going to be our gold standard that we're comparing all the other cards to. It's going to give you 2% back on every single one of your purchases. It's going to give you 1% when you make a purchase and then 1% when you pay it off. It's also going to give you $200 in cash back when you spend $1,500 within the first 6 months of opening up this card. However, this cash back is actually going to be issued to you in the form of Citi thank you points, which means that in the future, if you want to open up Citi's travel credit card, the Citi Strata Premier, you can transfer the sign-up bonus and all the points that you're earning with this card to that card. In addition to these points potentially being more valuable, you're also going to get 0 APR on balance transfers for the first 18 months, making this one of the best balance transfer cards on the market. So because this card gives you 2% back on everything, has a $200 sign-up bonus, and comes with additional benefits, I'm going to throw this card in the S tier. The only thing that there is to complain is that there's a 3% foreign transaction fee. The next card on our list is going to be one of the most controversial cards on this list, which is going to be the Apple Card. This card's actually going to show you your credit limit and your APR before you get a hard inquiry on your credit report. There's no fees with this card. That means no late fees, no foreign transaction fees, and no hidden fees. Plus, they give you a beautiful titanium card that they're going to laser your name into. And there's other metal cards out there, but none are quite like the Apple Card. It literally feels like you have a piece of sheet metal in your hand. This card's going to give you 2% every single time you go and you use Apple Pay, and then only 1% if you use the physical card. And then in addition to that, it's going to give you 3% back on your purchases from Apple, and then some other brands they partnered with like Nike, Uber, and Walgreens. Definitely the best card design on this list, and the easiest approval with you only needing a 600 credit score, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the C tier because you're only going to be able to get 2% when you're using Apple Pay, and you're not going to be able to use Apple Pay on everything. Plus, it's lacking a sign-up bonus, so it just doesn't really compare to some of the other cards that are coming later on this list. The next card on our list is going to be another metal card. Made of stainless steel and weighing at 17 grams, we have the Robinhood credit card. This card is going to give you an uncapped 3% back on every single one of your purchases. And while at first that makes it seem amazing, there's a couple of hidden drawbacks with this card. The first is that you actually have to have Robinhood Gold to get this card, and that's going to cost you $5 a month, or if you opt in to pay annually, $50 a year. There are a lot of good things that come with Robinhood Gold that help offset that, but I'm still very skeptical of this card because in addition to having to pay for Robinhood Gold, they also have one of the dumbest hidden fees out there. You're going to have to pay $50 just to get your card replaced. So that means if you accidentally lose your card or it somehow gets damaged, you're going to have to pay $50 every single time to get a new one. There's also no sign-up bonus with this card, and I have a really big feeling that this card is going to get nerfed. Robinhood CEO couldn't commit to giving you 3% on this card for more than 18 months, and that pretty much tells you all that you need to know. But as of right now, the way that this card is, I'm going to put it in the B tier. The next card is going to be the Alliant Unlimited Cashback Mastercard. This card's going to give you 2% back on every single one of your purchases, and it gives you no foreign transaction fee, so you can use it anywhere in the world. But there's 2 big problems with this card that is holding it back. One is that it comes with no sign-up bonus, and then 2 is that it's invite only, meaning that you can't just go online and apply for this card. You have to get an offer in the mail from them. Though Ally says that they do plan to open up this card to the public in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this card in the B tier. The next card on this list is coming from one of my favorite banks, Discover, and that's going to be the Discover It Miles card. But don't let the miles and the names fool you. This is really just a cashback card that they're trying to brand as a travel card. You're going to get 1.5% back on every single one of your purchases, but they double all the cashback that you earn for the first year, so you're essentially earning 3% 2% back on all your purchases on that card for the first year. They're also going to give you 0 APR for the first 15 months on balance transfers. So if you wanted to match the Citi double cash and have that 1.5% back give you $200 worth of value, then you'd have to spend $20,000 on this card within the first year, which is quite a lot of spend to put on a credit card. And then after that first year, it's only going to give you 1.5% back. So for me, this card just really isn't very competitive after the first year, so I'm going to throw it in the D tier. The next card is going to be the Bread Cashback American Express card. This is another card that's going to give you 2% back on every single one of your purchases that has no forward transaction fee, but it comes with no sign-up bonus. It also doesn't have any extra goodies like cell phone protection or 0 APR, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the B tier. Next up, we have the Alliant Visa Signature Card. If you meet the right requirements, you're going to earn 2.5% back on all your purchases up to $10,000 a month. If you don't meet the right requirements, you're only going to earn 1.5% back. The first thing that you're going to have to do to get 2.5% back is join Alliant Credit Union, which is fairly easy to do and pretty much everyone can do it. After that, you're going to have to open up a checking account, opt in for e-statements, have at least one deposit going into the account, and then maintain a daily average of $1,000 or more. However, this card comes with no sign-up bonus, so you'd have to spend $40,000 before you break even on the spend with the Citi Double Cash that comes with the $200 bonus. Not to mention that $1,000 sitting in your Alliant checking account could be in a high-interest savings account earning you money. So while it looks good at first, those hoops you have to jump through just aren't really worth it for me, but I'm still going to throw this card at the top of the B tier. All right, so the next two cards I'm going to talk about, not everyone can get, but they're still very popular, so I'm still going to mention them. They're going to come from Navy Federal, and to be able to get into Navy Federal, you have to have some military affiliation or have a family member or spouse in the military. The first card from them that we're going to be talking about is the Cash Rewards and the Cash Rewards Plus. So the way that these cards work, if you qualify for under a $5,000 credit limit, you're going to get the Cash Rewards, which is only going to give you 1.5% back on all your purchases. But if you qualify for a $5,000 limit or over, you're going to get the Cash Rewards Plus, which gives you 2% back on every single one of your purchases. Now, Navy Federal gives very, very high credit limits on their card, so most people are going to be able to get that 2% back. These cards also both come with a $200 sign-up bonus after you spend $2,000 within the first 90 days of having these cards. Plus, you get a one-time $98 statement credit for Walmart Plus. Personally, I don't really care about that Walmart Plus subscription, so the $200 and the 2% back is really the only thing that's going to matter for me. But because this card's probably going to give you a very high credit limit, a nice sign-up bonus, and it comes with no foreign transaction fee, I'm going to put it at the top of the A tier. The next card I'm going to talk about is also from Navy Federal. It's going to be their premier credit card, and it's going to come with a $49 annual fee. It's going to give you a $400 sign-up bonus when you spend $3,500 within the first 3 months, as well as a statement credit for TSA PreCheck and a statement credit for a free year of Amazon Prime, which is valued at $139. It's going to give you 2% back on every single one of your purchases, and then 3% on all your travel purchases. It also has no balance transfer fee, no cash advance fee, and no foreign transaction fee. It also gives very, very high credit limits. In fact, you can get a limit all the way up to $80,000 on this one card. And the reason that I think this card is so good is because you can open it up, hit that sign-up bonus, which is well over $500 worth of value, and then if you don't want to pay that annual fee, you can product change to the Cash Rewards card and still get 2% back on every single one of your purchases. So for that reason, I'm going to throw this in the S tier. The next card is going to be the Chase Freedom Unlimited. It's going to give you a $200 sign-up bonus when you spend $500 within the first 3 months of having this account open. In addition to that sign-up bonus, it's also going to give you 0 APR on purchases and balance transfers for the first 15 months. It'll give you 3% back on dining in drugstores, 5% back on travel booked through Chase, but the thing that we're paying attention to is 1.5% back on everything else. And just like the Citi card that we talked about at the beginning of this video, you're earning 1.5% in Chase's Ultimate Rewards points. And if you have one of Chase's travel cards, you can move the points from this card to that, making them way more valuable when you redeem them for travel, and you also get a boost on how much your points are worth. The Sapphire Preferred would give you a 25% boost, so you would essentially be getting 1.875% back on every purchase, but if you have the Sapphire Reserve card, then you'd be getting a 50% boost on all your points, meaning you'd essentially be getting 2.25% back on all your purchases. So if you have the right credit card setup, this can be one of the best cards on this list, but for the average person, that 1.5% back is going to be a little bit underwhelming, so I'm going to throw this card on the top of the B tier. The next card on this list used to be one of the best catch-all credit cards, but this card was recently nerfed, making it one of the poorer options on the list, and this is going to be the PayPal Mastercard. The upside is that it gives you 3% back when you purchase something through PayPal, but for all your other purchases, it's only going to give you 1.5% back. You're getting pretty poor upfront value because it doesn't come with anything like 0 APR or any sign-up bonus, and it's a bad choice for international travel because it comes with a 3% foreign transaction fee. You might be able to find some value in that 3% from PayPal, but other than that, this card is pretty useless, so I'm going to throw it in the D tier. The next card on this list is going to be another credit union card, but don't worry, anyone can join this credit union and get this card. They also tend to offer very high credit limits if that's something you're into. They're going to give you 2% back on every single one of your purchases as long as you're an Honors Advantage member, but don't worry, all that you have to do to be an Honors Customers Advantage member is open up a free checking account. It's also going to give you a $100 sign-up bonus when you spend $1,500 within the first 3 months, and 0 APR and balance transfers for the first year. You also get cell phone protection and no foreign transaction fee. So this is a very solid catch-all credit card. I'm going to throw this card in the A tier. The next credit card on this list is going to be the Sofi card. This is going to give you an unlimited 2% back on every single one of your purchases, as well as 3% back when you book travel through Sofi. There's no foreign transaction fee, and this comes with one of the best cell phone protections out there. However, this card lacks a sign-up bonus, so I'm going to have to throw it in the B tier with all the other 2% no sign-up bonus credit cards. The next card on this list is going to be one of my personal least favorites, and that is going to be the Quicksilver card from Capital One. This card's only going to give you 1.5% back on your purchases, and it's only going to give you a sign-up bonus if you have excellent credit. If you have excellent credit, you can qualify for the version of this card. It gives you a $200 sign-up bonus and 0 APR for 15 months on balance transfers. However, if you have excellent credit, there's going to be a lot better cards available to you than this. This card does come with no foreign transaction fee, but outside of that, there's really nothing special. 1.5% back is obviously very low, and with no sign-up bonus to offset that, I'm going to throw it in the lowest of the D tier. Next up, we have the TD Double Up card. This is going to give you an unlimited 2% back on every single one of your purchases, but this card does come with a sign-up bonus, which is going to be $150 when you spend $1,000 within the first 3 months of having this card. It also has 0 APR and balance transfers for the first 15 months, and it gives you cell phone protection and purchase security. So this is definitely a step up from all those other 2% cashback cards, because it gives you that sign-up bonus and 0 APR, as well as those other benefits that I mentioned. The only thing to complain about is the 3% foreign transaction fee, but I'm still going to throw this in the A tier. The next card on this list is probably the most popular catch-all credit card out there, and that is going to be the Wells Fargo Active Cash. You're going to get a $200 sign-up bonus when you spend $500 within the first 3 months. You're also going to get 2% back on every single one of your purchases. It then gives you 0 APR for the first 12 months on purchases and balance transfers, and if you put your cell phone bill on this, you're going to be protected up to $600. So as you can see, this is a very, very solid card. I'm tempted to put this in the S tier, but the only reason I'm not putting it in the S tier is because you can't transfer out the points like you can with the Citi Double Cash. And it also comes from Wells Fargo, which is a pretty horrible bank. But I do still think this is a great card, and I'm going to throw it in the A tier. The next card is also a very popular catch-all card, but this one is used by a lot of investors. This card also gives you uncapped 2% back on every single one of your purchases, but you have to deposit your rewards into an eligible Fidelity account. Otherwise, the rewards are going to be less valuable if you redeem it for something like a statement credit. So to be able to get this card, you're going to have a Fidelity account, and to be able to use it to its fullest, you're going to want to deposit your rewards into your investments. This card does have no foreign transaction fee, but it lacks some benefits like 0 APR and a sign-up bonus. But it's still a solid choice for Fidelity customers that want to change their spending into investments. So I'm going to throw it in the B tier with all these other 2% cards. Next up, we have my personal favorite and a sleeper on this list, which is going to be the Pnc Cash Unlimited. This card is going to give you an uncapped 2% back on every single one of your purchases, 0 APR and balance transfers for 12 months, cell phone protection up to $800 when you pay your bill with this card, and the best thing about it is it comes with a $250 sign-up bonus. I think that the no foreign transaction fee and the higher sign-up bonus beats out the Wells Fargo Active and Double Cash. And because you're getting the strongest welcome offer out there, I'm going to easily throw this in the S tier. Next up, we have a brand new card from US Bank that at first glance gives a lot of upside, but comes with a catch. You're going to get 2% back on every single one of your purchases, but if you have a lot of money with US Bank, you can get up to 4% back on every purchase. If you have $5,000 in one of your US Bank accounts, you're going to get 2.5% back. If you have $50,000, you're going to get 3% back. And then if you have $100,000, you're going to get 4% back. The problem is it's not really going to make sense to have that money with US Bank unless you move something like your IRA or your investments over to them. However, cards that try to give you over 2% usually don't last very long, so I don't think it'd be worth moving that much assets over to US Bank to try to get a couple more percentages back on your credit card rewards. Also, your points are only going to be redeemed for full value if you have them deposited into a US Bank checking or savings account. If you try to redeem for something like a statement credit, it's only going to redeem at 0.8 cents per point. So while it might look good at first glance, it's a little bit too gimmicky for me, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the B tier. The next card that we're going to be talking about is actually very similar to the Smartly card we just talked about, and that's going to be the Bank of America's Unlimited Cash. It's going to give you 1.5% back on every single one of your purchases, and you get a $200 welcome bonus when you spend $1,000 within the first 3 months, as well as 0 APR for the first 15 months. You do have to keep in mind that there's a 3% foreign transaction fee. But the reason that people really like this card is that you can get all the way up to 2.62% cash back. So just like the last card, if you have $20,000 with Bank of America or Merrill Lynch, you're going to get 1.87% back on every single one of your purchases. If you have $50,000, you're going to get 2.25% back, and then if you have $100,000, you're going to get that 2.62% back. So if you already have a lot of money invested with Merrill Lynch, this could be the perfect catch-all card for you, but for most people, you're going to be better off going with the Pnc Cash Unlimited or the Citi Double Cash. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this card in the B tier. These last two cards I'm going to be talking about are a little bit different because they're annual fee travel credit cards, but they do give you a flat rate. So if you're just looking for a no annual fee card that fits all your miscellaneous spend, these definitely aren't going to be the cards for you. But if you're looking for a travel card that gives you a flat rate, these are going to be the perfect cards. First up, we have the Venture X, and in my opinion, this is the best credit card on the market. It comes with a $395 annual fee, but it's going to essentially pay you $5 to hold this card. And that's because it comes with a $300 travel credit, and every year they're going to give you 10,000 points as an anniversary bonus. Plus, you get unlimited lounge access and the ability to bring 2 people with you. Hertz Presidential Circle status, and it comes with a 75,000 point sign-up bonus. Plus, it's going to give you 10 points back on flights and hotels, and then 5 points back on travel booked through Capital One. And then what we're here for is 2 points back on every single other purchase. Plus, these points are valued at 1.85 cents, so that 2 points back that you're earning is going to be a lot more valuable if you use it for travel rather than cash back. So if you want to travel and you're looking for a card, this is by far the best card. So for that reason, I'm going to throw it in the S tier. The next card is going to be the Venture Rewards, and it's going to be the little brother of the Venture X that we just talked about. It comes with a $95 annual fee, and to help offset that fee, it gives you a $100 statement credit for TSA PreCheck. It then gives you 75,000 points as a welcome offer. It gives you 5 points on travel booked through Capital One, and then what we're here for, the 2 points on everything else. So in my opinion, you're a lot better going with the Venture X, and this card doesn't give you quite enough value to make up for that $95 annual fee. So for the purpose of it being a catch-all card, I'm going to throw it in the C tier. I'm not going to lie, that was probably a little bit too low, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. The last card on our list is going to be the US Bank Altitude Reserve. It's going to give you 3% back every time you use your mobile wallet. So literally anything you buy with Apple or Samsung Pay, you're going to get 3 points back on. And if you redeem these points for travel, you get an extra 50% boost. So if you do like to travel, you're essentially earning 4.5% back every time you use mobile wallet pay with this card. It also gives you 5 points back on prepaid hotel and car rentals booked through the Altitude Rewards Center, and then 3 points on all other travel. This card does come with a $400 annual fee, but don't let that scare you because you're going to get statement credits for dining and travel for $325. Obviously, everyone eats, so that $325 is going to be used up pretty quickly, bringing the effective annual fee of this card down to $75. You also get some great travel benefits like no foreign transaction fee, 8 free visits to airport lounges, TSA PreCheck, and a great concierge line. So definitely amazing card for people on Team Cashback and travel. It also gives you a 50,000 point sign-up bonus, which if you redeem for cashback is going to be worth 500 points, but if you redeem for travel is going to be worth $750. Now, US Bank is pretty stingy with approvals, but if you are able to get approved for this card, this is an easy S tier card. All right, so to conclude this video, you can see that there's cards like the Alliant, the Robinhood, the Smartly card, they all try to give you over 2% back, but it really just never works. You then have all these 2% cards that are pretty decent, but they don't come with a sign-up bonus, and it takes a while to make up the value for that sign-up bonus when you're only earning 2% back, so those cards are really a dime a dozen. You then have the cards that come with the sign-up bonus, like the Citi Double Cash, the Wells Fargo Active Cash, the Pnc Bank Cash Unlimited, and those are going to be the best card for 99% of people. Then if you want to dip your toe into the world of travel, you have those catch-all travel cards. Let me know what changes you guys would make to this tier list and any thoughts you have down in the comments. And if you want to learn more about that Venture X card I was talking about, make sure you click here to watch a more in-depth video of it.